Okay, could you hear my voice?
Sir.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm currently in the my office at the now. So I think the microphone at my office is laudable, but I guess there are no response from you. Could you? Okay, so what we're going to do today is basically to have a presenters workshop, which I'm going to look at your draft that you're currently working. If you have questions regarding your paper, you could also ask about them. So let us start the workshop by calling Hauda Alifia to show her slide, please.
Okay, sure. About slide, yes, sir.
Yeah. I think I've turned on the screen sharing. Yeah, I have.
This, sir.
Okay, you may scroll down your PPT. Okay. How many slides is this?
15, sir.
15. Okay. So, okay. Please move it slowly. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And okay. Purpose, background. Okay. Let's move on. Move on. Yeah. Next. Okay, the figure. Yeah, I think it's okay. Okay, next. Okay, so so this figure here, the resolution is kind of stretched. So I don't know how you edit this. So probably probably for the final slide, you could make it a little bit resolved. Because I think in my screen at the moment, the resolution is kind of stretched. Okay, so next. Okay, next. So this is from the data sets. Okay, move on. Okay, let us go to the near conclusion slide, please. Okay, so this is the conclusion. Okay, and after this, is there any additional slide after conclusion? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Kauda.
Yes, sir.
So I could ask for Raka Fauzan to show his slide.
I'm sorry, sir. For my presentation, I'm still preparing for it.
Okay.
Still make the presentation from the paper. So I'm still not ready yet. I'm sorry.
Okay. So thank you, Raka. Let us move on to Rifki.
Sir, wait. my PC is a bit laggy. Is it already seen now?
Yeah, it's processing. Yes. Now it's showing your.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you have 14 slides and white background. Okay, so next. The waterway screening robot. Okay. Okay, next. Okay. Okay, so I think most of you now have already knew how to design a good contrasting color in one presentation, because I see the choices of color that you all use is
Oh my
basic
God.
on the uh is basically have good composition with the
Yeah.
background, etc. and so on. Okay. Okay, could you move it to the next?
Well, my PowerPoint is not responding. Wait a second. Okay.
Oh, it's because you using the animation that sometimes it makes
It's
the
bit heavy.
oh slower. Okay, next. So this okay. So for the Citarum Harum, if you have time to translate it, please translate it.
Oh,
Because I know
okay.
that
Yeah.
was coming out from the original aims made by the Citarum Harum project. But if you have chance to translate the terminology there, you could. It will be better for us, since we are going to present, since we're going to uh, have a seminar in English. Okay,
Sir,
so next.
do I have to explain the name of the project is translated to English, or just explain the program itself?
It is better for you to have it uh, in English entirely,
Oh, okay.
because we're practicing to talk in a traditional seminar setting. Okay, so make sure that even the small information that you could have in one figure is already translated into English.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just for the sake of uh, our uh, our exercise, because uh, even in international seminar that was held locally, for example in Bandung or Jakarta, sometimes one or two presenters is not that eager to make some kind of a modification from the original Indonesian manuscript. Uh, but since we are in the scientific communications class, where to make sure that students have that experience of preparing uh, the ideal quote unquote version of a presentation style of a presentation slide, then I hope you have time to translate the aims or the goals of Citarum Harum here into English.
Did I
Uh,
change the Citarum Harum title
no,
also?
the Citarum Harum is Citarum Harum project, but
Oh,
for
okay.
example, penanganan lahan kritis, you could translate it
Oh,
to
yes.
critical uh, uh, handling the critical land, and then handling the industrial pollutants, and then
Research
etc.
and development.
So not the name of the project itself, you could still uh, use the Citarum Harum name, but the phrases, for example, penegakan hukum becomes upholding the laws, or education and uh, society empowerment, etc.
Yeah,
So on.
got it. Got it, sir.
Okay, next. Okay, so this illustration. Okay, next. Yeah, I mean, you have animations and also a video file here. So the transition of the PowerPoint sometimes it becomes slower. Okay, next. Okay, next. Yeah, yeah, this is the layout and also the design is, I think, is already good. Next. Okay, next. Okay, next. So you have 14 slides, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, yes, sir. It excluded the references, so it will
Yeah.
be
We
13.
don't need to have references in our on our presentation because sometimes it's not necessary. And even in our defense or in our meeting with our advisor, it is not that compulsory. Okay, next.
I haven't finished the conclusion yet, so
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay,
this is
thank
the
you.
last slide.
Sure,
So,
sure. Okay, thank you, Rifki.
thank you, sir.
Let's move on to Anggita. Do we have Anggita in the classroom? Alhamdulillah, sehat, Pak. Ya.
Oh, wait. Uh,
Okay, you have 17 slides. So I think you need to trim or cut some slide to make it shorter. But I don't know. Maybe there are one or two slides that you could explain it faster than the rest of the slides. So hopefully it will be manageable. Okay. Okay. Moving on. Okay, I'm seeing the slide bar. Okay, on the left. So no need to show the whole thing. Okay. But now I'm asking you to pinpoint the slide number 14, please. Could you show the slide number 14? Okay, could you make it full screen, please?
okay, sir.
Okay, I'm going to comment about the figure over here because in my screen, in my computer screen, the resolution of the
Yeah.
okay, so it needs to be bigger to see the exact number or the value of dose. The dose is in what is the unit of the dose? Okay, so the problem probably the the unit for the dose is not that clear. Was it in was it in some milligrams or something? Oh, it's in percentage. Okay, so it's in on the units is on percentage.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
so I think you know your homework, right? To make the
Mm.
units appear clearer. Okay. Okay, so we have inline, cross line, but the dose, but the dose is not that clearly visible. Okay, so it is in on the units in percentage, not in milligrams or milliliter. Okay, so next. Okay, and then the other axis is depth. Depth is in millimeter, inline millimeter, and crossline millimeter. Okay. Okay, and then the conclusion. Okay, thank you, Anggita. Okay, Let us move on to Ayunda. Is Ayunda in the classroom?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 16 slides. Okay. Okay. Well, we could show it in reverse order. Okay, so this is 11 and then 10. How about slide number 10? Okay. 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 Previous one. Okay. Okay. 8. Oh, okay. Okay. Next. Next. Oh, sorry. You are progressing. Please move on to retrograding to slide number 1. One by one. Okay. Okay. 6. This is 6. And then 5, I guess. Okay. 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 Agent-based simulation. Okay. Okay. This is 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then the title slide, I guess. Oh, the content. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ayunda.
Yes, sir.
I think the composition and also the layout is already good. Now is the time for you to practice with your content. And everybody else who already have their PPT ready, I think the next step is basically to practice your talk so that it will be under the required time, and also the articulation and also pronunciation of words is clear for the audience to hear. Okay, I'm just going to ask for 2 more students. Muhammad Herdiansyah. Is Muhammad Herdiansyah in the classroom? Or okay, my slide is not finished yet. Okay. Moving on to Dearly Aprilia.
Yes, sir. Mm.
Okay. How many slides at the moment?
14, sir, but
Okay.
two,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
two slides not ready yet now.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. So the title color is is dark green or a plant green. Okay. So okay, next slide, please. Okay, next. Okay, next. Next. Oh, okay. I think most of you have already done a good job, a tremendous job in terms of determining the layout, color, and composition of your presentation. So I hope that your talk itself will be 100% in terms of the thing that you plan, the thing that you exercise with, because most of the layout and also the choice of color design and etc. is already good. And I think there are no worries for this final presentation in terms of the layout and layout and design of your presentation slide. Okay, good job. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Dearly. Let me see. Okay, still, so since we are basically still have an hour to spend, I don't want to, well, I guess that since I am in the office at the moment, Okay, let me show you the. Let me show you the. Okay, let me show you the. Okay, I hope that. Okay, I hope you're able to see the camera here. Let me. Oh, okay. So the one that is showing at the moment is the front camera. I just want to show you about the size of a typical poster that I have in my office. Okay. Okay. This is the A0 size poster. It's pretty big. Okay. This is a typical size of A0 size poster. And as I mentioned in the lecture, a poster could show or could also use in terms of promoting something or to informing about a certain institution or a certain lab. So the one that I'm showing you here is a, oh, sorry. This one is a research poster made by Pado Di Sutarno and his students about the application of estimator in CSIMT data processing. So as you can see here, I'm showing you the A0 size poster, which is designed in landscape like this one. So it's printed horizontally. So now you able to recognize how big is the size of A0 poster. Okay, so this is the size of an A0 poster. And then let me see if I have an A1. So this is another, so this one is also another poster that is promoting the research topic from rock physics and porous media. Okay, this is also a A0 size poster. But I'm going to show you a smaller poster that is printed in A1. If I'm not mistaken, this is A1. Okay, yeah. I think this is A1. Okay. So, okay. Let me put my phone here so that you can see it. Okay, so this is an A1 size poster, and it is written for the research topic of finite element modeling of magnetotelluric of 3D magnetotelluric study, and this is printed in A1 size paper. Okay, so this is basically a half of this one that I've shown you earlier. So this A0 here, the size is twice than the A1 size paper over here. And A1 paper here is 4 times larger than A4. So whenever you are planning to make the poster for your poster presentation, make sure that you are recognizing the typical size of a certain poster presentation. And so if so And A1 is basically the one that is more convenient in terms of the price, in terms of the it is more because it is easier for me to carry this poster instead of the A0 size poster because it's bigger. And for that you need to have some kind of a shell or some kind of a case to carry the poster. I'm not having any. Okay, so I do have one. Okay, is it? Oh no. Yeah, usually when you are printing a A0 size poster, you need to have that case like a bazooka or like a weapon that basically carry out that A0 size paper. But for A1, it is relatively easier to carry the poster from one place to another. And then if you could see the type of paper that is used here, this one is a glossy paper, which have that thickness a little bit thicker than the typical plain paper. Okay, but nevertheless, in terms of the price of printing a glossy paper, it is more expensive than a typical paper. Obviously, because I think the price of the original paper itself is already more expensive than the typical one, but also the glossy paper have the advantages of having the color becomes brighter compared to the typical type of paper, basically. Okay, so if you could see here, the poster have that brightness. If you see it on the under the light, for example, compared to the unfortunately I don't have any poster that is printed in a paper, an A4, not A4, a typical paper, because the output itself is visually different between the glossy paper and also the typical paper. Okay, so that is regarding the the poster size of one poster presentation. So let me stop the video over here so that I could show you the EduNext LMS screen, because for 15 minutes presentation, you also have a task to do, not just to present, but also act as a listeners during one's presentation. Okay, so let me go to this one. Okay, so in week 15, in week 13, which is this week, I already add one submodules for 15 minutes presentation assessment. And again, for 15 minutes presentation, the presenters will be assessed by the students, okay, by the listeners or by the attendees, in order to look for their performance and to check whether they already met the quality of one presentation based on the qualification, based on the outcomes that is listed by the study program. So if I'm okay, see if I'm open the okay, let me show you here. Okay, the assessment again. If you see on your screen, the thing that is going to be evaluated from each student is regarding your organization and logical sequences. It means that if you're able to make some kind of a engaging format and a logical storyline from one section to another, then you're going to have a perfect score for this one. So as I mentioned earlier in the 10 minutes presentation, you'll be scoring your peers from 0 to 4. Okay, so the maximum value is 4. You could also add the, you could also use a decimal number for the scoring. So if it is not an integer, but you can also put the score value equal to 3.5 or 3.2 or 2.8, etc. and so on. Okay, so the assessment that we need to look is basically your ability to make a good storyline or a good flow from your chosen scientific topic, and then your ability to speak the content with profound proficiency, with good pronunciation, and also clarity to the audience. And then, of course, you need to be master of your own topic, so that if we see you kind of mumbling or blank in the middle of presentation, that will be a minus point for your presentation. So make sure that everything that you add in your slides, you're able to present them well. And then in terms of the visualization, again, I always look for the figure resolution, the clarity of certain graph, etc., and so on. So make sure that your graph and figures is on the perfect condition. And then the constraint follow. The constraint for our 15 minutes presentations is to mimic the situation of a scientific annual meeting, okay, annual or a prestigious scientific meeting held by a certain organization, for example. And then the last part that we need to assess you is your ability to answer the question that is coming out from the audience. Okay, so I'm going to act as an attendee also, and I'm not going to make the assessment as you are, but I'm going to ask questions, and I'm encouraging also students involved in the question and answer session also, because if I'm not hear any questions, that I'm going to generate questions for each presenters. But if you do have questions for your friends, please ask them, because because the ability of students to answer the question is what is part of this assignment, is part of this assignment. So make sure that you have questions for your friends, and then make sure that you already send me the abstract, so that your friends could knew about the thing that you want to talk about. Okay, so here there are information that very important to spread at this session. First one is about this assessment sheet. Okay, the assessment sheet. and then you need to look at the presenter's ability in terms of collecting ideas and presenting them in a understandable outline, or your storyline of your presentation is easy to follow. Okay, so this is the first section, and then the presentation technique that you use in terms of the words, in terms of the phrases, in terms of the eye contact, etc., and so on, that is shown during presentation is part of the evaluation for the techniques. And then you can see whether the presenter have mastered his or her content. Obviously, this is one of the important aspect of your evaluation, because if you're not the master of your own presentation, then what needs to there are no benefit of having that presentation in the first place. And then the second and then the fourth point is the visualization of each graph and figure. Is it clear? Is it understandable by the audience? Is it make the presentation or the content, it becomes easier to follow, to understand from the visualization used in the presentation? You could also evaluate the chosen figure for this one. Okay, and then the so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, the fifth one is whether the presenter able to follow the constraint of having a presentation in front of a international scientific meeting. And then the Q&A handling, you could you need to evaluate whether your peers, whether your friends able to answer the question coming out from the attendees successfully. Okay, so from here, is there any questions from the students? You have
Excuse me,
questions regarding this one? Okay, please.
I haven't understand about the constraint follow. Can you explain it again?
Okay, the
Thank you.
constraint for the 15-minute presentation is just like when we are going to have a scientific annual meeting. Okay, so if you think that the quality of the slide presentation is meeting your expectation of a international meeting, that you could you could grade the presenter slide maximum. Okay, so that is the constraint for, because well, I guess that the format that you already have at the moment is kind of similar with the one that you have for your 10 minutes presentation. And I think the slide design for your 10 minutes presentation could also be used in an international meeting. What I mean is that if you see that the well, if you see that the slide composition, etc., and so on is more in international meetings, let me make the constraint a little bit clearer. So since we are not going to change the I think we are not going to change the format that you already have for your 10 minutes presentation. So let us agree that the constraint for the 15 minutes presentation is just like when you're having a international meeting in a room, okay, in a room that all lights are turning on. Okay, so What I mean is that you don't need to make your slide presentation darker. Okay, make them as the one that you already have at the moment. So if you follow that constraint, then you will be fine. Okay, so the constraint is to have the constraint is to mimic the situation when you are presenting in a bright room of an international scientific meeting. I hope that's clear for you.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, so this is about the presenter assessment. Okay, so I have modified here the date for your presentation will be on November the 23rd, 25th, 30th, and December the 2nd. And okay, so this is a part of the thing that I want to remind you all about the 15 minutes presentation. So let me minimize this and then move back to the LMS. Okay, so in the LMS, in week 14, at the moment is still blank. So later on, when we are starting our final presentation, there will be link for you to access in order, just like when we have that 10 minutes presentation where you where you submit your slides into Google Drive folder, and also in on the final week of the semester, which is on week 15, I'm going to add a link for the paper submission. Okay, so for week 14 and 15, later on, I will create a section or a link in order for you to submit your slides, your final paper, and also your assessment sheets. Okay, so there will be 3 folders that you need to aware of. First one is for submitting the PowerPoint presentation. You could also you could choose whether to send me the PDF or the PPT. And then the second one is the final paper of your scientific topic, and also the assessment sheet. Okay, so that will be appearing in the week 14, and the final paper submission folder will be appearing in the week 15. Okay, so week 14 is for the the presentation slide, and then week 15 is for the presentation slide, the final paper, and also the assessment sheet. Okay, so hopefully after this class is over, okay, I'm going to look for your abstract and CV submission, and I will create the presentation flyer for the Tuesday and Thursday sessions. Okay, so if I'm okay, so 15-minute presentation, abstract. Oh, so nobody done the abstract yet? Okay, so I'm hoping that you're able to send me the abstract and also your CV, because your submission will determine the order of your presentation, whether you're presenting in the first session, second session, or the fourth, or on the first, the second, the third, or the fourth session. Okay, or if I'm am I pointing the wrong folder? Let me see. Okay, so we are still on week 15, right? Oh, sorry, not week 15, but week 13. Okay, student must submit their CV and final presentation abstract to register for their presentation order. So let me check this one. Yeah, it's still blank. So please turn in your abstract as quickly as possible, because your abstract submission will be used to order the presenters. Okay, so the list of students that going to present on Tuesday is basically those who sent me the abstract quicker than anybody else. Okay, so don't make them late. Okay, don't make them late, because uh, if you make them late, then I need to think about other method to make the presentation order, because I want us to basically mimics the thing that we did in a international scientific meeting. So there are clarity about who are going to be talking in a certain session. Okay, because I have shown you earlier from my past semester's class. Okay, that I did in 2020. Okay, this one, scientific communication. Okay, where all of the presenters in my class for the final one have that order for the final session. So for example, okay, this one, okay, there will be some kind of a flyer or announcement that at certain date and certain time we're going to have presenter one talking about this one, and everybody could see the abstract, etc., and so on. And this is the timetable for each presenter. So please send your abstract and CV into the requested Google Drive. Okay, there is a. Oh, come on. If you're able to done your presentation quicker, then you can do the other work. Okay, because if you're able to present on Tuesday, you still have time to work on your paper, right? On your paper that need to be submitted on the next week, right? So if nobody uh, send me the abstract, then our system is going to be failed. Okay, our system, because I want you to have that experience of having the scheduled presentation time as we have in a international scientific meeting like this one. Okay, and okay, like this one. Okay, and like this one. Okay. Okay, if you've done your presentation quicker, it will be beneficial for you to do something else, to prepare for something else, to working on for other classes assignment, etc., and so on. Because you only need to spend 15 minutes to talk and also answering question, and then you're done. Okay, that's basically the advantages of having your name present quicker than anybody else. Okay, so I'm hoping that you're able to send me the abstract later on, so that in Monday, maximum in Monday, I will send you the flyer for the Tuesday session. Okay, so make sure that you send, and it is a requirement. Okay, it is part of the requirement for you to fulfill your minor assignments, also with your major assignments. Okay. Okay, here is the LMS. Okay. Okay, this is the video, etc. Okay, so I think all of the required information about the next week's presentation is already given. All of the information that you need to do the final presentation is available in the LMS, but I'm just want to inform you that I think LMS will be shutting down on the on Saturday and Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So I will also updated the MS Teams chat room. Okay, so we also have MS Teams classroom or MS Team yeah, classroom, like this one. So if anybody needs to have a alternative link for the submission folder for your abstract, etc., and so on, please don't hesitate to look for the MS Teams chat room also, because I'm going to use this as an alternative if the LMS EduNext is going to be shut down in Saturday and Sunday. Okay, is there any question from the students at the moment? Okay, let me cancel this one first.
Sir,
Yes.
so just to make sure the 15 minutes presentations duration is including the Q&A session.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so 15-minute presentation is already is including the Q&A sessions. Okay, so you only need to make 10 to 12-minute slides. Okay, and then 15 minutes is maximum. Okay, so 15 minutes is not going to be used for talk only, but you need to answer question because it's part of your assessment. And so if you have 15 or 17 slides at the moment, you can trim them to make it shorter. And again, everything that you have in your paper doesn't need to be presented on your final presentation. So choosing the right amount of information for your presentation is also part of the process of creating a slide presentation. Okay, and then the Q&A session will, well, theoretically, we're going to have 12 minutes for students presenting their topic, and then the rest of 3 minutes, okay, the final 3 minutes will be used for the Q&A sessions. That's the theoretical timing for your presentation. If your description or if your explanation or if your oral presentation timing is only costs about 10 to it only costs you about 8 to 10 minutes, then we have longer time for question and answer session, because we're going to use the whole 15 minutes period effectively. Okay. Okay, we have other questions. Sir, is there any limitation for the presentation duration? Like, okay, there are no presentation limitation. Okay, so if a student's able to have their presentation shorter than 15 minutes, or if he or she is able to conduct a Q&A sessions, then the assessment will be maximum. Okay, so if one presenter is not able or deliberately makes the presentation longer, then the assessment for the Q&A session will be 0. Okay, so make sure that you have your presentation done in a concise way, so that you have time to present and also have time to answering questions from the audience. And make sure you have questions. Okay, make sure you have questions for your friends, for your for the presenters of the day, because they need that questions to be answered as part of their assessment. Okay, I think everybody's clear with the explanation at the moment. So I have shown you the briefly about the size of a typical poster size, and then I've shown you the LMS for the 15 minutes presentation preparation, and the thing that you need to do as a presenter and also as the listener or the attendees of each presentation. And it's kind of typical. Okay, I just want to well, in one annual meeting, for example, it is normal to have some kind of a poster and oral communication a competition where the committee of one meeting will select the best oral paper and also the best poster paper of the annual meeting. It is normal to have that kind of activity in a scientific meeting, and the assessment process that we done here is basically the thing that is kind of similar with that paper and poster competition in an annual meeting. So even though sometimes in our meetings that is held by the physics study program or by the FMIPA, such paper and oral competition and oral presentation competition is not held. It's not held due to many reasons and circumstances. But for example, here in GCB Bandung, okay, in the Hagi annual meeting or in the SEG annual meeting or American Geophysical Union annual meeting, or even in the APS annual meeting in the United States, or annual meeting in Europe and Australia, for example, they have that competition of oral and poster presentation. So it is normal to have audience is assessing the quality of each presenter's presentation, because it is part of the competition that they held in the seminar or in the annual meeting. So so there I'm using the same method for our class, so that you kind of used to with the settings and environment when you are participating in such of annual meeting or seminar. Okay, I think we could conclude our class today, so that you could have time to prepare your slides and full paper more effectively. So I will thank for those students who are being called today to show their draft. And I think the composition and the slide design of their of the representative students that was being called today is good. So I'm hoping the rest of the students also who took this class also have the slides ready for the 15 minutes presentation with the same amount of with the same quality as the representative that was being called today. So yeah, so let me stop the recording now.